They called her just a maid. No one noticed her beyond the uniform she wore, the broom in her hands, or the soft yes ma that left her lips every morning. But what no one knew was that this same quiet maid, the woman everyone ignored, was silently saving the lives of millions. This is the incredible true story of the maid who secretly saved millions. Amaka was 23 when she left her small village to work in the city. Her father had died years ago, and her mother was sick. With 3 younger siblings to feed, she took the only job she could find, as a live-in maid for a wealthy family in Lagos. Every day, Amaka woke up before dawn, scrubbed the floors, washed dishes, ironed clothes, and cooked meals she could barely taste. The family's children went to school. Their parents drove fancy cars, but Amaka lived in the small boys' quarters behind the house, a windowless room with a thin mattress. Still, she never complained. Every month when she was paid N20,000, she saved N10,000. The rest went to her mother and siblings back home. But Amaka had one secret, a secret dream. She loved books, old, torn, forgotten books she found in the trash or near the market. She would read them late at night under a small torchlight after finishing her chores. Those books became her teachers, her friends, and eventually, her plan. One day, her employer complaining about the cost of food waste, how so much food was thrown away daily while there are people dying of hunger out there. That sentence stuck in Amaka's mind. People are hungry, but food is wasted. That night, an idea was born. She began collecting leftover food that was still edible, bread crusts, rice, fruits, and would sneak out early every morning to distribute them to hungry children at the park near Ojuelegba. At first, it was just 5 or 6 children, then 10, then 20. She used part of her savings to buy small packs of water and cheap biscuits. Word spread quietly. There's a maid who feeds children every morning. But not everyone was happy about it. When her employers found out, they were furious. They accused her of stealing, even though she was using her own money and leftover food. They called her ungrateful and fired her on the spot. Amaka stood outside their gate with her small bag of clothes and N35,000 in savings, jobless, homeless, but not hopeless. For weeks, she struggled to survive. She slept in a small church hall, cleaning in exchange for a place to stay. But she never stopped feeding the children. Every day, she would go to the market, collect unsold fruits and vegetables, and share them among the hungry. One rainy morning, she found a little boy shivering under a bridge. He was weak, sick, and hungry. She wrapped him in her shawl and took him to the clinic, using the last of her money to pay for his treatment. That boy survived. Years later, he would become one of Nigeria's most respected doctors. And he never forgot the maid who saved his life. Months passed, and one of the volunteers from a local charity noticed her daily routine. They asked who she was, and when they heard her story, they decided to help. Soon, her small act of kindness turned into a movement called Food for All by Amaka. Donations poured in. Restaurants joined. Volunteers came from all corners of the city. Within a few years, Amaka, the former maid, had helped feed over 3 million people across Nigeria. She was honored by international organizations, featured in documentaries, and even invited to speak at the United Nations about food waste and hunger relief. But through it all, she remained humble. When asked what inspired her, she simply said, "Hunger taught me compassion, and compassion taught me purpose." Her story teaches us that greatness doesn't always wear a suit or have a title. Sometimes it wears an apron and carries a heart full of kindness. It shows that even the smallest act, a shared meal, a caring word, can ripple into something massive, and that no one is ever too small to make a big difference. So what's your excuse? What if you are sitting on an idea that could change lives? If only you started small, just like Amaka did. If this story touched your heart, leave A in the comments and tell me, what's one act of kindness you'll do this week? And if you believe the world needs more stories like this, subscribe, because next time, I'll be sharing another real-life miracle, one that might just change how you see ordinary people forever.